At first light, when the forest still holds its breath, a massive silhouette glides through rising mist, ancient and unmistakable, announcing the arrival of the hornbill, a living relic shaped by millions of years, carrying the memory of forests older than human language. Its great curved bill, crowned by a casque, tells a story written over 30 million years of survival, of continents shifting and climates changing. While hornbills endured as watchers of time, found across Africa and Asia in more than 60 distinct species, they are not merely inhabitants of forests, but architects of them, giants of the canopy whose slow, thunderous wingbeats echo long before they are seen. With every fruit they consume, especially figs, hornbills plant the future, dispersing seeds across vast territories and stitching life back into the land, turning flight into an act of creation. Their voices roll through the trees like ancient horns, amplified by the casque that evolution, sculpted not for beauty alone but for communication, dominance, and survival. Hornbills form bonds that often last a lifetime, and their devotion reaches its most astonishing expression during reproduction, when the female willingly seals herself inside a hollow tree, entombed with mud and pulp until only a narrow slit remains. For months she lives in darkness, trusting entirely in instinct and in her mate, while the male carries the burden of survival alone, delivering food day after day, knowing that a single failure could mean silence within the tree. Inside that sealed chamber, life begins unseen. Chicks hatching blind and fragile, growing without ever knowing the sun, guided only by hunger and warmth, until the female finally breaks free, weakened but victorious, sometimes sealing the nest again so the young may finish growing in safety. When at last the chicks emerge and meet the sky, they step into an odyssey shaped by memory and instinct, learning routes between fruiting trees, mastering calls that will one day echo across kilometers, and joining a continuum older than humanity itself. Hornbills can live 30 to 40 years, long lives spent as sentinels of the forest, remembering landscapes, seasons, and abundance. Yet they face growing threats from predators, from silence brought by deforestation, and from human desire for the very casque that crowns them. Where hornbills disappear, forests slowly unravel, canopies thin, and regeneration falters. Because these birds are not separate from the forest, they are the forest in motion. Across cultures, they have been revered as symbols of loyalty, prosperity, and the spirit world. Yet beauty has also made them vulnerable, turning ancient skies quiet where wingbeats once thundered. Still, instinct remembers paths even when forests shrink. And against narrowing time, hornbills persist, gathering at dusk, raising their young, and carrying responsibility older than any civilization. They do not know borders. Hornbills are among the most visually arresting birds on Earth, defined by their immense, down-curved bills and the prominent casque that crowns the upper mandible, a structure that varies dramatically in shape and size between species and serves purposes, ranging from vocal resonance to social signaling and, in some cases, physical combat. Their plumage is typically bold and high-contrast combinations of black, white, chestnut, or ivory, often accented by bare, vividly colored skin around the eyes and throat, that flushes during courtship or territorial displays. Despite their size, hornbills move with surprising agility through the canopy, using powerful wings for sustained flight and strong feet to hop and climb along branches. Their posture upright and deliberate, giving them an almost ceremonial presence in the forest. Hornbills inhabit a wide range of tropical and subtropical ecosystems across sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and parts of southern China. But they are most strongly associated with mature forests where large, old trees provide the nesting cavities essential for reproduction. They thrive in lowland rainforests, moist deciduous forests, riverine woodlands, and in some regions even open savannas with scattered trees. As long as fruiting species are abundant, many hornbills show strong site fidelity, returning to the same territories year after year, while others roam across vast landscapes following seasonal fruiting cycles, making them both residents and wanderers within their ecological realms. Diet defines the hornbill's role as a keystone species. While they are best known as frugivores, feeding heavily on figs and other soft fruits, most hornbills are actually opportunistic omnivores. Alongside fruit, they consume insects, spiders, small reptiles, amphibians, rodents, and even nestling birds, especially during the breeding season when protein demands are high. This dietary flexibility allows hornbills to survive seasonal scarcity, but it is their fruit consumption that gives them unparalleled ecological importance by swallowing fruits whole and dispersing seeds over long distances. They regenerate forests, maintain plant diversity, and enable trees to colonize new ground far from the parent plant. Scientifically, hornbills belong to the order Buceratiformes, with the family Buceratidae representing the true hornbills of Africa and Asia, comprising more than 60 recognized species. Their closest relatives include hoopoes and wood hoopoes, but hornbills stand apart due to their size, caste development, and highly specialized breeding strategy. Species range from the relatively small African dwarf hornbill to giants like the southern ground hornbill and the great hornbill of Asia. Niches yet unified by shared anatomical and behavioral traits forged through deep evolutionary time. Among the most remarkable facts about hornbills is their extreme breeding dependency on intact. Hornbills possess a suite of characteristics that make them instantly recognizable and biologically exceptional, combining sheer physical presence with finely tuned behavioral intelligence. Their most defining feature, the massive bill and casque, is far more than an ornament. It is a multi-purpose tool used for foraging, social signaling, vocal amplification, and species recognition, with each hornbill species bearing a casque shape as unique as a fingerprint. Their strong neck muscles and partially fused cervical vertebrae evolved to support this heavy structure, while long eyelashes protect the eyes during powerful, low-frequency wing beats that announce their flight through the forest. Despite their imposing size, hornbills are highly perceptive birds, capable of spatial memory that allows them to locate fruiting trees across enormous territories. making them living maps of the landscape they inhabit. The lifestyle of a hornbill is one of rhythm and patience, shaped by daylight and seasonal abundance. Most species are diurnal, beginning their day at dawn with feeding, flights before retreating to shaded canopy layers during the heat of midday. Evenings are often spent traveling long distances to communal roosts, where multiple individuals gather in tall trees, reinforcing social bonds and offering collective vigilance against predators. While some hornbills live primarily in pairs or small family groups, others, especially non-breeding individuals, form loose flocks that move together in search of food. Their daily lives are marked by deliberate movements rather than frantic activity. Environments with remarkable precision. Parenting in hornbills represents one of the most extreme and emotionally powerful strategies in the avian world. Once the female seals herself inside a nesting cavity, she surrenders mobility, relying entirely on the male for survival. During this period, she undergoes a complete molt, shedding and regrowing feathers while confined in darkness, a transformation that leaves her vulnerable yet biologically optimized for incubation and chick care. The male responds by dramatically increasing his workload, sometimes making hundreds of food deliveries, selecting nutrient-rich fruits and protein sources to sustain both mate and offspring. This prolonged dependency creates an intense bond between parents, and the success of the brood depends not on aggression or dominance, but on cooperation, consistency, and trust. Hornbill chicks grow slowly, reflecting the species' long lifespan and investment in quality over quantity. Inside the nest cavity, the female regulates temperature, hygiene, and feeding, ensuring that waste is expelled through the narrow slit while chicks develop strong bones, feathers, and flight muscles. When the female eventually breaks out, parenting continues outside the nest, with both adults feeding and guarding the young. For more wildlife videos, subscribe and share.